This disturbing supernatural story you're about to see took place in Brooklyn, New York, and in Hollis, Queens. Who was the real killers behind Jam Master Jay's unsolved death? In the 1970s and the early 1980s, I predicted a huge vision that Jesus Christ and his Heavenly Father, the Yahweh, was married to their spouses. I predicted that Jesus Christ was married either in heaven or on earth. As my visions were getting stronger, Jesus Christ and his Heavenly Father, Yahweh, spiritually started a rumor about me through the famous rappers Run DMC on January 1st, 1986. The name of the two songs are called Kings from Queens from the Run DMC Raising Hell album, and the second song was called Rumors by Time and Social Club. Listen very closely to these two songs. Listen to these two songs that the Heavenly Father, the Yahweh, started about me, because Jesus Christ was married to his sister before the crucifixion, and Yahweh, the creator of this world, was actually married to a goddess. Listen very closely to these two songs. The rap group Run DMC is corrupted, and they were working for a corrupted God since the early 1980s. Run DMC knew who I was in the early 1980s, and yet they spread a dangerous rumor that almost had me killed on May 11, 1986. But what Run DMC didn't know, because of this rumor that God and Run DMC started on January 1st, 1986, it caused the death of their friend Jam Master Jay and the separation of their rap group on October 30th, 2002, the night that Jam Master Jay was killed in his recording studio in Jamaica, Queens, New York. The creator of this planet and our material universe is the evil and cursed God. It was God himself and Jesus Christ who moved the alignments of the planets and stars and caused a lunar eclipse, allowing the birth of the Antichrist to come into this world, Prince William V. The only one in this universe that can move those planets and stars in the correct precision and start a lunar eclipse is God and Jesus Christ himself. 5,500 years ago, in the time of Jared, Enoch's father, and Jesus Christ and God turned their backs on their human creation and allowed his children, the fallen angels, to have sex with both humans and animals to corrupt God's creation on earth. And they created different kinds of species to fulfill planet Earth. What was the real reason that the World Trade Center was attacked on 9/11? The Sumerians 6,000 years ago in ancient Iraq wrote on a clay stone, "Our earth is degenerate in these latter days. There are signs that the world is speedily coming to an end. Bribery and corruption are common." The reason that Jesus Christ and his Heavenly Father started that rumor about me was because I was gonna make a rap song to tell the truth to the world in 1985 that Jesus Christ and his Heavenly Father was married to their spouses. Jesus Christ and his Heavenly Father, the Yahweh, wanted to possess me on December 4th, 1980, and in 1997 with a spirit muse, so I could become a professional movie star for the Hollywood elite. The result was that Jesus Christ had taken away my education at age 17. He hospitalized me in psychiatric hospital through all my life. He ruined my reputation on 17th Street with my family, friends, and neighbors. Jesus Christ and God is the one responsible for possessing movie stars with the spirit muse in California, Hollywood. Now Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Rihanna are admitting on national television that they are being possessed by spirits, demons, and the spirit of dead celebrities. If Jesus Christ and his Father in heaven knew that the Hollywood, California, and movie stars, producers, directors, and composers were all corrupted and evil since the time of ruler Valentino in the 1920s, why on earth did Jesus Christ and his heavenly Father, the Yahweh, want it so bad for me to be recruited into a Hollywood satanic industry, to possess me with evil spirits so I could have an out-of-body experience and become the movie star that God wanted me to be on December 4th, 1980, and in the fall of 1997. Sophia was a goddess that came from the heavenly realms of the Most High. Sophia also was the mother of Yahweh, the God of planet Earth. When she had his miscarriage, Sophia saw that she gave birth to a God made out of fire. She had gotten very frightened and blew it out of the heavenly realms into the darkness of the watery abyss. The reason Sophia, the mother of God, of Yahweh, had his miscarriage was because Sophia created Yahweh without the permission of the Supreme Being of the heavenly realms. When Sophia saw what her desire had produced, it changed into the figure of a snake and the face of a lion. Its eyes were like flashing bolts of lightning. She threw it out from outside of the realms so that none of the immortals could see it. For she had produced ignorantly. She named her child Yahweh. Gnosticism holds that the God of the material universe is held responsible. Pretty much outright state that Yahweh is the creator of evil. As evil, or at least God's insane, as seen in fear that man and a darkness in my soul. The evil Yahweh creator of planet Earth created, for example, gunpowder, uranium, heroin, cocaine, liquor, diabetes, cancer, AIDS, acid, fire, pure darkness, evil spirits, demonic dinosaurs. The evil Yahweh created metals on planet Earth to create metals, guns, and nuclear bombs. The evil God of the planet Earth created poison in animals and on the planet. Yahweh transformed beautiful angels into demons and gave children and people nightmares and the worst of the pit of the darkness. Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. This is a female African ape. And what you see next to the female ape is a falling angel, the missing link. This is an African ape, the true mother of Cro-Magnon people, and the first pregnancy from falling angels. Date 6,000 years ago. An experiment from the falling angel and the female family ape of Africa. Cave people or Cro-Magnon humans. Fact, there is only one skin color, a brown pigment called melanin. Albinos have no melanin, so they have very white skin, almost pink because of the blood vessels that show through. If you have only a little melanin, you have white skin. If you have very black skin, it's because your skin makes a lot of melanin. If you are Chinese, your skin is slightly thicker, which gives your skin a yellowish shade. Celestial beings that landed on the earth like eagles merged their sperm with a female ape and produced the blacks, whites, albino, and Chinese race. It was in the time of Jared, Enoch's father. They were all corrupted from the natural order. Corrupted from the natural order? What does this mean? except that animals and human beings were morphing into different species. Book of Jubilees and the Book of Enoch. First pregnancy by falling angels. The second pregnancy by falling angels, which is the time of Lucy. The third pregnancy by falling angels. Fourth pregnancy by falling angels, until it evolved to modern man of Africa. This is the era 6,000 years ago the created white people evolved. There were the Caucasian man, albino, and Chinese race. Albino mutants are the ones who evolved from the black norm and the time of the Aryan falling angels. The last tribes of angels that fell in the Caucasus Mountain after the flood of Noah. This is a picture of a black man turning white. And it was a biblical leprosy that we believe where the white people evolved. All the white people on the earth evolved from the black norm in Africa. The Caucasus Mountain of Russia, where albinos, Chinese, and white people evolved from the blacks 6,000 years ago, and also at the time of Jared, Enoch's father. The Zionist Illuminati, Jews and Greeks are albinos, mutants, from the bloodlines of the third race of falling angels, the Aryans. The Zionist Jews stole all the Bible stories from the ancient Sumerian clay tablets and added their version of the Bible 2,000 years ago for world domination, and mixed up historical facts from fiction, myths, and legends to cover up the true writers of the Holy Bible. The first race of angels that fell from heaven to another dimension was Azurah, the wife of Yahweh, and 1/3 of her children. The second race of angels that fell from heaven to earth was Azazel's family, about 3,600 years before Christ. The third race of angels that fell from heaven to earth after the flood of Noah landed in the Caucasus Mountain about 3,200 years before Christ were the race of the Aryan falling angels, which were the blue eyes and blonde hair angels that were the last angels that finished producing the white race that evolved from the blacks in that region of the world. That was the time when they came and stomped on everybody in that region of the world, which is in Africa and India. And this is how they became powerful, and it was the supreme races ever since. The Book of Enoch contains a rather disturbing passage that suggests a paranormal or supernatural element is involved with the process of evolution. 222 falling angels invaded planet Earth in the time of Jared, Enoch's father. The 222 falling angels had sex with a female ape in the time of Jared and gave birth to Cro-Magnon humans. They were the blacks, whites, albinos, and Chinese race. They all had sex with animals and humans in Africa, and they were all corrupted from the natural order. Corrupted from the natural order? What does this mean? Except that animals and human beings were morphing into different species. It was in that era of Jared, Enoch's father, before the Egyptian pyramids of Egypt was ever built, that falling angels impregnated Iraqi women in southern Iraq and gave birth to giant human beings to fill the earth. They were called the Nephilim giants. And they are the true builders of the pyramids of Egypt and all the colossal buildings in Jordan and around the world. Grace Powers, the producer of Armin Stop Production, Ring of Power Part 1 and 2, is a hypocrite. And let me explain why. Grace Powers' friend Joy Jeffries Pugh, the author of Eden, states that Cain, the second child of Adam and Eve, was an alien or reptilian. The Lying Sumerians also states that the human race was created by a demon seed called Enki. The Hebrews and Sumerians of the Bible lied in a very big way in some parts of the Bible. And let me explain why. There was never no snake that tempted Eve in the Garden of Eden. I strongly speculate that there was sexual activity in Eden before the story of the serpent. And in some ways, this makes a lot of sense. It's the world of paradise. How can it exist without sex? Adam and Eve was having babies all the way to the time of Jared, Enoch's father. It was in that time that the serpents of the air, which is the angels, came into the daughters of Adam and Eve, and all the female animals in Africa, and created an abomination of different species. This is the epic of Gilgamesh, his story of the Great Flood. Adam and Eve were the first humans on earth. Then they had two sons, Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel. At this point, there were supposedly only 3 people on the face of this earth. This is the white-skinned Hebrew edition of the Bible story. I will explain to my brothers and sisters the true reason why the white-skinned Hebrews stole the Bible story from Iraq and added their version of the scriptures. First of all, Eve gave birth to a third child, a daughter. The reason that Cain killed his brother Abel was because he committed the first deadly sin, which was envy. Cain had gotten nervous and didn't know where to hide Abel's dead body from his parents in the Garden of Eden. So Cain saw a crow, killed another crow. Then the crow dug a hole on the fresh earth and buried the dead crow with dirt. That gave Cain the idea how to bury his brother in the Garden of Eden without his parents realizing it. This is probably how Cain married his first sister and built a city outside of Eden. If God said incest is wickedness, then why God created a situation where Adam and Eve's kids had to commit incest with each other? Did God force them to break his own law? No. It makes much more sense that Adam and Eve's children procreated with other humans outside of Eden, the cave people. Yet one may object why these cave people are mentioned in Genesis. It is mentioned in the time of Jared that the fallen angels came into earth and procreated with female apes and created caveman-looking creatures. I will explain who were the cave people and why it was edited out the Bible. The cave people were a product and experiment from the fallen angels that had intercourse with a female ape and begetted a new species of human called Cro-Magnon or modern man. They were the blacks, whites, albinos, and Chinese race that evolved in the time of Jared to the time of Noah in the Holy Bible and also after that. The remains of ancient Lucy in Africa was one of the daughters of a female ape and a fallen angel 6,000 years ago. It was impossible for long lifespans of 120 to 930 years in Adam's time. No human beings couldn't live that long. This scheme had to come from science fiction writers that didn't believe in God or was trying to cover up their true past. And that race were the white people. All other non-white people on earth evolved from black people 6,000 years ago. Significantly, this is the true reason why life started 6,000 years ago, because of the corruption and the mutation of celestial beings that landed on earth like eagles. They were the fallen angels. Hi, my name is Ronaldo Reyes. I am a writer, artist, and a freelance actor. I have a lot of experiences by the paranormal world. I came to a conclusion since birth and my young teenage years that I was communicating with some kind of spirit